The storm desk. Read the storm. Book the roofs. The roof went on 3 weeks ago. The crew was clean, the homeowner is happy, and a few $1,000s is still sitting with the carrier. Your office is making the "where's my check" call again, and it sounds like begging. By the end of this, you'll know what actually speeds a storm damage claim check and what doesn't. You cannot move the deadlines the law hands the insurer, but you can stop being the reason the claim waits. Most of the delay on a clean claim is hiding in your file. Start with what cycle time actually is. It is the days from the homeowner's first notice of loss to the final dollar collected. First notice of loss is just the moment they report the storm to their carrier. It is not one number, but a chain of small weights, homeowner reports. Carrier assigns an adjuster. Adjuster inspects and writes a scope. The first check goes out. The work gets done. The held back money releases. A claim is only as fast as its slowest link, so find that link before you chase the whole chain. Now split that chain into 2 columns. One belongs to the carrier and the law. The acknowledgement window, the internal review, the pay or deny deadline. You cannot touch those. The other column is yours. Documentation, scope clarity, supplement discipline, closeout. That second column is where roofers create their own delay. Knowing which is which keeps a salesperson from promising a date no one can guarantee. Work your column and stop apologizing for the carriers. The clock starts at the homeowner's phone call, not your ladder. The policyholder reports the loss. Never tell a homeowner, "Don't worry about your adjuster, we handle all that," because you don't, and that line slows the claim by leaving the carrier without proper notice. Report promptly, because the policy deadline beats the statute. Nearly every homeowner's policy demands notice as soon as practicable, long before any state filing limit. The cheapest thing that speeds a claim is 1 phone call. Then run a clean intake so the file opens itself. Capture it once, capture it right. Policyholder and best contact. Address, date and type of storm. Claim number, insurer, agent, adjuster, a mortgage flag, and the lender's lost draft department. Written homeowner authorization to inspect and to discuss construction details with the carrier. That authorization line is the one that matters. It lets you talk to an adjuster about the roof without confusing that for representing the homeowner in the claim. You explain what you saw and priced, not what the policy owes. Now, the biggest dial you actually own. Documentation. Thin documentation is the most common, most fixable cause of a slow claim. An adjuster has to answer 4 questions to move a roof claim. What happened, when, where the damage is, and whether it fits the policy. Your file should answer the construction side of all 4 without a follow-up call, because every follow-up is a multi-day round trip on the carrier's calendar, not yours. Shoot each plane wide, then close. A plane is one face of the roof. Label every file so a stranger could follow it. Then separate cause of loss into clean buckets. Bucket 1, storm damage from this event. Bucket 2, pre-existing wear, like granule loss from plain age. Bucket 3, code-required upgrades, covered only if the policy carries ordinance or law coverage. Bucket 4, owner upgrades the homeowner pays for. When those blur together, the adjuster slows to sort them, and that invites a reinspection. Document conditions, not conclusions about coverage. Never write this as a covered total loss, because that is a coverage opinion the carrier alone makes and the line you do not put on letterhead. Supplements are where cycle time balloons. A supplement is an add to the scope after the crew finds something the inspection missed. Rotten decking under the felt. A hidden second layer. A skipped chimney cricket. Each is legitimate. Each, handled badly, adds 2 to 4 weeks. A supplement stalls for one of 3 reasons. The photo does not clearly show the item. The location is not tied to a plane or a room. Or it reads like, "Trust me, add money," instead of "Here is the construction reason this belongs." The adjuster cannot approve what cannot be verified. Now the column you cannot touch. State rules and storm volume. Every state writes its own claim handling deadlines, and the numbers differ enough that one trained script is dangerous. Texas gives the insurer 15 business days to acknowledge and 15 to decide once it has what it needs, with a possible 45-day extension. Florida requires pay or deny within 60 days. Colorado wants a clean claim paid in 30 to 45 days. Do not memorize one state's number and recite it everywhere, and never quote a deadline as gospel where it does not apply. And volume rewrites all of it. Normal timing assumes normal volume. After a regional hail event, thousands of claims hit at once. Adjusters get flown in and stretched thin, scheduling backs up, and many states let carriers extend deadlines after a declared catastrophe. So claims filed first move near normal speed, while the ones filed 3 weeks later land in the backlog. That is why prompt reporting is worth more in a hail belt than almost anywhere. You never handle or negotiate the claim for them, because the day you negotiate or interpret the policy, you are an unlicensed public adjuster, and that freezes the claim. Here's the part everyone forgets. Approval is not money. The longest waits happen after the homeowner thinks the claim is done. Most policies pay replacement cost in 2 stages. First, the carrier pays actual cash value, the replacement cost, minus depreciation, minus the deductible. That is the first check. The held back gap is the recoverable depreciation, released only after the work is completed and documented. Take an $18,000 roof, depreciated 40%, with a $2,500 deductible. The first check runs around $8,300. The rest waits on your completion packet. If it is late, the money sits. 2 more gates sit on the back end, the deductible and the mortgage. The deductible is the homeowner's to pay, full stop. Never say we'll waive your deductible, and never rebate it or bury it in inflated line items, because in many states, that is insurance fraud. Discuss it early and honestly, because payment problems almost always start when that talk happens too late. And when the property carries a loan, the check usually names the lender too, and the lender must endorse it first. For bigger amounts, many lenders require a signed contract, a W-9, proof of progress, sometimes inspections. Start that the day you learn there's a mortgage. Make Closeout a hard gate and run a weekly review. No job is done in your system until the completion photos, the final invoice, the deductible receipt, and the depreciation request are filed. Then once a week, walk every open claim and kill the word waiting. Replace it with a specific next action and an owner. Waiting on adjuster reinspection. Waiting on deductible receipt. Waiting on completion photos. Specific labels cut wasted calls and make payment status visible without turning a roofer into a public adjuster. The review keeps open claims from rotting in a high-volume month. Here's where RoofPredict fits and where it doesn't. The fastest claim has the least to argue about, and that starts before you've even built a route. RoofPredict pairs an estimated roof age range with storm physics modeled per individual home, so you skip the brand new roofs and the cosmetic-only homes and start the claims that do get filed from a stronger footing. It keeps a living record of which roofs you inspected, priced, and submitted, so your office is never the bottleneck. It does not inspect, diagnose, or decide coverage. Roof age is a planning range, not an exact date. The list starts the route, and the clean file moves the check. Close the loop. You cannot speed up the deadlines the law gives the insurer, but you can stop being the reason the claim waits. Report promptly. Document so the file answers every question without a callback. Keep the buckets clean, supplement with a photo, a location, and a reason. Treat Closeout as the finish line, not approval, because the held back money lives there. Hand coverage questions back to the homeowner and the carrier, and never touch the deductible. The carrier owns its column. You own yours. Work your column, and the check moves on time.